Hello, lovely people. Welcome to part two. I'm a bit ill. However, I have a story for this because we're spiritual here, and I got ill last week. I had the best week ever and went to a concert. Everything's paid for, which was amazing because I felt a bit down last week, as you all know. You've watched the last episode. And yeah, so being ill, and that's the upgrade. And I talked about this with Lisa before. I was like, Lisa, normally I'm never ill, never. And I was like, what's going on? And you confirmed like that's an upgrade of like I could feel my head like I know I'm late 30s now, and I was like, maybe it's is it perimenopause?
Hopefully
No,
not at 30.
I know, and I was like, bloody hell, because I could feel it in my brain that something is shifting. And I never had this. Yeah, I had a headache because sniffy nose, and obviously everything's blocked. But then we got into the energy, and my spirit guide said, "Oh, you're upgrading." And I was literally ill for a week. It's better now, but I feel that when you're like spiritual and you work with your spirit guides or have this support team like Lisa, you're obviously my support team as well.
Yeah,
It
which
makes,
helps. It
yes,
helps,
it
doesn't it?
helps.
You for me, and that's the good thing when we've got people around us on a spiritual path. And I know,
Mhm.
I'm aware that not everybody does. But it's like for you, when you mentioned it, we just confirmed, and it was saying that it was like downloads and time
Yeah,
out for you to what do they call align with
ex
those downloads. So yeah, that's wonderful.
that's how it felt because obviously I was on my period last week as well, and then I was ill, and I was like, okay, guys, I normally after my period, I'm like, Go getter, I do this, I do all the content for my business, but I was just not doing anything, and I was like, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday where like, oh my God, I need to do this and I need to do that. I need to do things for the workshop. And then they dropped in, relax, relax. What were you even worried about? And obviously I got paid as well. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, that
So that was
came.
good because I could feel like my team let go, trust. And I think this is something that when you're spiritual or when you open up to this kind of space where you trust, life gets way easier. I feel that because I would have normally I would like, oh, you need to do content even when you're ill. Take your laptop, go to the bedroom, and just do your thing. But yeah, I'm really happy that I've listened to the intuition and you confirmed it as well.
And
So
like you said, as you were saying that, what I got was rest and reset. Because for me, I just get a word will drop in, and sometimes I
yes,
don't always know what it means. Sometimes I have
yeah,
to sit with that word and feel it. But for what you're saying, and rest and reset goes for all of us, because I think this week has been, you've not been well, but I've felt the energy is quite odd for me this week. Lots of little niggly things. I've been really good and not been reactionary. I've had an issue with a doctor dealing with my dad, and she was not in a good place, this doctor. I think she'd had a bad day, and I think I was getting the brunt of it. But I kept in my space because this is the thing, isn't it? And I thought to myself underneath, I thought, many years ago, I would have reacted to the way she was with me because so we'd have had two negative reaction. It would have, caused it would have just probably created with somebody putting the phone down and not getting
yeah.
anywhere with the conversation, which isn't good because you need to know things. But two or three things happened to me this week with that situation. And, pat on the back for me, and this doesn't always happen, I didn't react. I stayed calm, and I talked to this doctor very clearly about why I was asking certain things and what I wanted to know so that she wasn't feeling that I was pushing her buttons. But I feel that she's probably had a day of it. But that to me is, like we said, because this is podcast 4, part 2, isn't it? And in part 1, we were talking about the effects of how we feel our lives have changed on this spiritual path. So the person I was, say, 15 years ago, if I wasn't on this path, we would have just had an explosion on that
Yeah.
phone call, and two other incidents this week that happened with people outside. It was in a shop. It was in Tesco's. The last one, this woman was a bit funny with me. And normally I go up again. I would have gone up against it. I would have just gone what and
Yeah.
seen red.
Excuse
And
you.
yeah, what? Yeah, who do you think you're talking to?
Manners cost nothing.
But it's just, I just sort of stepped back. I could feel my energy step back, as if to say, I could see something's creating this in this lady. It's not me, because I've instantly met her.
Mhm.
There's something, going on in her life. So it's diffusing this way of being. It's almost like you're on an energetic level, not almost like you're on we're energies, we're beings, and we're allowing that energy that we're becoming more of to clear the space by just not reacting. And sometimes we need to react. I get that. But sometimes the best thing to do is to step back before we react. And then we don't react, sounds a bit negative. Maybe we step back before we sort of speak what we need to speak, as rather than say react, because I think react is
Yes.
reaction, isn't it?
And
You're having a
it's,
reaction to something. So
yeah,
for
being
me,
mindful.
it's life changing, isn't it? And I think everybody will kind of agree with that. It is
Yeah.
life changing. Sorry, Tatiana, did you want to
No, it's also about them being mindful because last week, obviously, I have you, I have my friends, and I have myself. And I learned in the past few years when I become even more spiritual, if you want to call it that way, that last week, even like I knew the payment is not dropping in because you pendled for me. And I was like,
yeah.
what? I've been paid this week. I was like, okay, I trust the process and done. And I even last year, the year before, I would have been like stressed about it and be completely like not stressing myself. And for me, it's this trust, this claiming back my own power because being in this kind of situation, we can't control the outside. We can't control. We can only control what we create for ourselves and the inside. And that's the perfect example with the doctor for you. It is.
And it's energy, isn't it? What
Mm,
what you realize is the energy that's used, because in those moments of stress, those reactive moments, it brings up like a surge of energy at that moment. And often what I used to find, and I think many people will agree with this, if I had a reaction, if it was a verbal reaction, often it was I couldn't express myself clearly because I would be in a heightened mood. I
mhm.
would often, for me, it would create emotions. So
Yeah.
I would feel teary. So it wasn't good because I couldn't get my truth. The
Yes.
truth was that the emotions came up, the feelings, the emotions came up in front of the truth,
Mm,
and I couldn't get across what I would want to say.
yeah.
And I think that's a massive thing now, that I feel has really changed, where I can really communicate what I want to say. But all the time, that happened this week, and you'll be the same. The experience is you're not exhausted after
Yeah.
the interaction, or or what's taking place. Normally we jump into the mind, wouldn't we? We'd have been
Hmm.
creating a million and one different
Yeah.
tales about whatever's happened, or why that's happened, or why they've done that, or why you've not been paid. And it's exhausting. So, but what we're also doing while we're doing that is we're creating something and building almost like a framework of negativity around us.
Exactly. And it's like
And
this
each time you go in, we're adding to it. And I think sometimes, no, I don't think, I feel, as I say this, this is my truth anyway. As we've created that framework, it's almost like that energy or framework is hanging about here, and it wants to pull you more into the mind. So the more we're into the mind, the more pathways, negative pathways we create, the
exactly.
more we're pulled into it. So it's about being in the peace, kind of just doesn't create that or dissolves it.
Yes. 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 And for me, it's when I started like, um, I mean, we're always manifesting, but when I started this, like, I think 6 months ago, I started really digging into this. And what I want to say with that, like every single time I come up, I go into my head and like, oh, you're not enough, or it's hard to make money, or you have to do this, you have to go on social every day, on the socials like Instagram or TikTok. And it's like I catch myself and like, is that really what I want to believe in? And for me, this like changing the phrases or how I speak to myself,
Yes.
that it's just like it becomes easier and easier and easier. And I know that when I tried it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it never clicked for me. But then I was like, try it for 30 days, try to do it for 60 days. And it right now, when I caught myself in this moment of like, oh, you're not enough, it's like, no, you are enough. And everything will happen for you. The universe got your back. And I think this shift also came with like being more in the trust, being more spiritual.
And
That
I agree with that, as you said. Fortunately for me, I do feel I'm not an overthinker. I've never have been, but I do have family members, and I see how the overthinking is. And obviously, someone who is very much an overthinker, and then me who isn't, it's going to be harder for them to break those patterns, isn't it? So like you said, the good thing about setting, say, a 30-day challenge, so to
Mm,
speak, for yourself, you're breaking, it's giving you time to break a pattern. But also, when you said you feel you're more in the truth of who you are,
yeah,
that's the continual work that we do on ourselves. So you're
yeah,
finding it easy to drop into the peace.
exactly.
So it's there's got to be a bit of work going on there, hasn't there, to break
Hmm.
these patterns and
Discipline and
to
a bit of
create
work.
the
Yeah.
change. So yeah, the spiritual path is not an easy path, but these are the massive benefits. And
Hmm.
sometimes you might feel you've been on this path 12 months, and obviously you perhaps won't be at the point where I am or Tatiana's at, but I'm quite sure. In fact, it would be lovely if any of you want to share where you
Yes.
think there are any significant changes,
Mhm.
or not even significant, just, the smallest of things. You'll just
Yeah.
notice. I often notice things and I think, oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's because I've not reacted, or
Mm,
that's because I've stayed in the peace and I'm calm, so I'm not getting all worked up,
yeah.
because of my routine, my practice that I do. And obviously, I think we've spoke about it before, as we heal the wounds within us and clear those wounds, what would once create a reaction in us doesn't, because we've healed the wound that would cause a
Yeah.
reaction. So there's that thing of not having as many things that you would once react to. So I seem to be
Exactly.
saying react quite a lot.
Yeah. It is about like controlling the mind in a way, I feel.
Or
Uh,
letting go. But again,
yeah.
one of the things you said about you could feel like something being done in the mind with this cold this week, and I've been experiencing this for maybe 3 or 4 weeks on and off, and
Ah,
so I've got something in the head, almost like something's being cleared from within, so to speak. And when you think about it, they say, don't they, for everything we do, we create a pathway. Is it to do with neurons?
yes.
And
Mhm.
we physically create a pathway. So if we've
Yes.
got a negative, so if we constantly say, oh God, I'm terrible, me, and that's how we keep saying, we've created the pathway once, but if we continue to keep doing it, it's almost like someone described it to me once, like if you see a field where everybody's walked across the field along the same path, they flatten the grass.
Yeah.
Eventually there's no grass because it's being used all the time. So it's like you build the pathway, and because you keep doing the same thing, you keep walking that pathway all the time, so you're strengthening that belief system. So that's why when you start to try to break those belief systems, it's
Yeah.
not so easy because you've really trodden that path, so to speak. So
Yeah.
just doing a day of deciding not to say it anymore won't break it. It's got to be a real consistency to
Exactly.
do the work.
But then it's like super quick because I think I did it for the first week and I felt, oh my God, it's so much easier. My thoughts are clearer and I can literally catch this phrase and throw it in the bin. And I saw like a few weeks ago, like the neurons, how they built themselves and how they connect again, like the new pathways. And it looks so cute. And it's literally, they're so magnetic. So they break through. They're in a line, they break through, and then they try to find new pathways. And they literally do this with their arms, and then they connect, and then it's a new pathway. I think that's amazing. And I could feel this. I was saying to Paul, like, Paul, do you think I have a brain tumor? And he was like, what? Why are you saying that? I said, I don't want to manifest this, but my
Not
brain.
deciding to have a negative thought there.
So I switched that. I was like, no, 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 I'm healthy. It's just like the upgrades and the neurons and yeah, but I'm an overthinker and I'm also a people pleaser. So this combination is sometimes really like, but I think you have to work through these and be disciplined and then it comes quicker. I wasn't expecting the results I've seen in the past month after such a short time. If you think about it, 30 days is not a long time. So,
No, and maybe for anybody watching this, if you decide to do that, put some
mhm.
notes up, maybe some sticky notes somewhere, because
Mhm.
obviously it's so easy to forget. Yeah. So maybe put some sticky notes up around your bedroom, on a mirror, in your kitchen, on your cupboards to
Yeah.
try and remind you, because I do see clients that I have come, for sessions with me. And I've got some clients who have kind of friends and they talk really, really negative about themselves, especially like you say, people who are people pleasers,
Mhm.
have low self-esteem and such.
Yeah.
And I talk to them about, the way we speak about ourselves, and they come back the next time and they're still doing it because they've not really. Often I think people that are in the head haven't really, you're thinking of that many other things. They've not really took in what you're
Yeah.
saying to start with. So you've got to clear that, as you were saying that about, breaking through those pathways. It's
Mhm.
like I could see almost like this fuzziness that you've got to get
Mhm.
through before you
Yes.
can make the space
Yes.
for the better way of thinking to come. And when you think this is going to have to be shifted, isn't it? This
Yeah.
mindset that we have, all this negativity has got to be cleared, just like we're doing the work for the heart. I'm doing lots of healing. And obviously, as soon as you start on this path, that's where, to me, it starts in the
Yeah.
heart. Um,
Exactly.
but I do feel now, because often when I'm doing channeled messages and such, or channeled healings, I get that it's like connecting. It always becomes in now connecting with the heart and mind. So it's
Mhm.
it's like the heart is, for me, lots of work done on the heart. So now they're trying to probably clear the mind, and it's so that everything can just drop in. Because really, we'll be sort of speaking our truth. It'll be coming through
Yeah.
like a channeled message, and
Mhm.
anything we want to do or bring into our awareness. Or so for me and you, we've put this beautiful new workshop together, which, just
Pardon.
quick advert there, Saturday the 22nd of February, we're doing it via Zoom, and it is called the Divine Blueprint. And the way this came together, again, we just sat and literally put it down on paper within, well, it was less than an hour, wasn't it? As we just got the ideas, I got gods and goddesses. You got the abundance codes, and also the fact that you've been connecting to the Himalayan mountains, haven't
Yeah.
you? What I'm trying to say is, because in a way, I wonder whether, because our minds are becoming clearer, the
Mhm.
channeled information. So as we've wanted to put this workshop together, we've just kind of asked and what we're going to do, and then words come in and we jot it
Yes.
down on paper.
Yes.
Then over the week, I've had like Lord Vishnu coming in and Lord Shiva,
Okay.
and then you had said about the Himalayan mountains, and
Yes.
I've got then the Himalayan mountains coming in through them. And then this week we've had Shambhala, because we're going to be accessing Shambhala, which is, I didn't realize, in the Himalayan mountains.
Mhm.
Obviously not as a seen place, it's like on a spiritual level, but it's almost like a Shambhala is like a temple of light again, which is in that area. But I'm going off skew there, and we will be putting lots of adverts out to do with this workshop because we know, again, we did a beautiful Rose Temple workshop that was very powerful, and this is going to be equally so. But what I'm trying to say is how wonderful and kind of easy it is that this information and knowledge, because once we've hooked onto it, we've decided to do something. It's almost like I feel the mind's got the space
Yes.
to download, because almost as we clear the mind and we sit into the heart, we're accessing all of creation. We can access any information we want in reality. We're learning to do that and allowing it to happen, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And when you drop this, like, was it
Shambhala.
Shambhala? Because when I do my abundance sessions, and that just came like 2 months ago, came it to me that the being on top of the mountain, being in these beautiful energies, could I always saw myself in a temple, being with a galactic and being with star seeds and downloading the abundance codes and everything. So I'm really happy that I can bring that to the workshop because I think this is going to be like super, super fun and relaxing and so expansive. So when
Yeah.
we put this workshop together, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And it literally, like you said, it dropped in.
Yeah.
Like 10, 15 minutes, we were like, oh, what are we going to do? And like, bum, 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 bum. And that is just how it should be. And that's like, we're open. Um, Headspace is open. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
normally for me it's blocked, but when I channel, it's always clear, and the messages are so on point. They tell us what we need to do,
Yeah.
and I love that. It's easy, and we will bring this energy to you. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's
Yeah.
going to be so magical.
It is. I'm really looking forward to it. And I mean, we've
Mm.
just done a session before we came on, didn't we? Because we often chat first before we come on, and we tend to receive healing for the both of us. And we were actually taken to the Himalayan mountains to meet the dragons that reside within the Himalayas. So they've connected with. So obviously, this energy and this power is building up for this workshop. I know I'm going a bit off skew, but I just feel that this needs to be shared because the power of the dragons is so immense. The here and again, us connecting with them is bringing them forward. As we talk about dragons, as we talk about this
Mm.
energy, as we talk about galactic beings, we are bringing that energy with our words into life, into
Yeah.
this world for you to
Yeah.
receive. But again, it comes back to doing that, being on that spiritual path. I couldn't have done this. I started my journey in 2008. 2007, I was intuitive, but if you'd have said you're going to be communicating with galactics and dragons, I'd have thought, yes, and you need to go and get the white van and it'll come and collect you and take you off to the hospital. But here we are, and we're ready to go
Um,
again with it's going to be
exactly.
our second workshop, this, isn't it,
Yes.
Tatiana? So,
And it is going to be so magical because when you come into the this container, it's also you bring your own magic and we just ignite this fire within you, this light. And I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, of course, yeah, not forgetting that each of you, anybody watching this, you've all got your own guides, your own team, and they come and they will be the ones that nudge you as to whether you need to
Mm.
connect and sign up for this workshop, which is only a fantastic price of £25, which is amazing for all that you'll receive, within that
Okay.
space. Because we do like to try and keep it affordable at
Mm.
this time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. And the energies are going to be like so up leveling. And I have should we, shall I lay a card? I feel like
yes, that would be
cards. So,
lovely.
yes, I go with the water ones. Clearing my throat. Is there a question on your mind, Lisa? Do you have a question or anything, or just
Is
collective?
it just a guide? A guide? Sorry,
Yeah, for
nothing to do with the workshop. It's just a collective.
yeah, just a collective.
Can they give us any direction of where they want us to go at this moment. That's just for the collective, not for me and you, just for anybody in general.
They're just saying going up, dream big, and don't play by other people's rules. Make your own. That's what I'm getting. But we have the cards here.
Oh,
The
that's
ripple
lovely
effect.
though. Dream big.
Yes, so I have the ripple effect here. Part of something bigger. Details are taken care of. So again, it's like not playing small, playing by your own rules, and you don't need to know where to go. You don't need to know at this point how and why. Just follow your callings, and then it's like a ripple effect. The universe takes care of that, of the rest. And we have the cosmic ocean, current dreams, future realities, new beginnings. So I have the feeling that in the next few days, you will receive like maybe it's in dreams, but it can also be in meditation um interacting with other people or clients that um they give you snippets of like, hey, where to go next. Because obviously new beginning, we're still in this new beginning energy. And if
Yeah.
you check out the reading for February, it's like the third podcast. So if you want to go deeper there, but we're still in the new beginnings.
And that
Future
makes,
reality, bring it to, oh, they also give me the nudge of like, oh, tell them that when you join the workshop, it's like you creating your own reality and it's a new reality for yourself.
oh, that sounds amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
because really it's new what's coming in, isn't it? It's always new.
yeah,
The energy, we do a workshop, it's always something new that's coming through.
exactly. And
But
it's like allowing yourself to release, allowing yourself to float in this energy and receive the upgrades. Like, okay, I'm here, I'm in the waters, and I'm taking this and that, and I'll just embrace it. That's the feeling. It's like a really light, floating energy coming with it. Yeah.
And I love that because yesterday, when I was doing my grounding, because like I say, everybody knows that my routine is a connect to Gaia
Mhm.
and God and create the ascension column of light. And I got Lord, was it Lord Vishnu in? Lord Shiva came in yesterday. So Vishnu's been working with me and Lord Shiva's coming in. But these are the two energies that are coming in to help us with the workshop. They're going to hold space. And that's their energies allowing us, along with the guides that Tatiana works with, allowing us to access the Himalayas and Shambhala. But that card that you got, the message I got from him was to think big, to think
Mhm.
bigger, manifest bigger. So, we need to start dreaming our dreams. At one time you might think, oh, I'd like to go and do that. Oh, I can't do that because I've not got the money. And again, this is
Mhm.
the negative,
Mhm.
the
Stop
pathways, isn't
that.
it? Yeah, that we're to stop because that's been instilled in us to stop us becoming
Yeah,
who we're here to become and to stop us having this fantastic life that we can have, heaven on earth.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so that's like a confirmation of that. Think bigger.
Mhm.
And like Tatiana said, the ripple effect. You might not know how you're going to get somewhere, or you might get a nudge to go and do something and you're a bit resistant and thinking, oh, I don't even know where this is going to lead. It might be to go and have a coffee with a group of friends and you're like, oh, I don't know whether, well, all right, I'll go. And when you go, one of them suggests, oh, do you know what? We're going on a trip. How do you fancy coming with us? Leads to your next step. It opens doors. So when you get these nudges, you'll know when you get these nudges. I think I'm
Mhm.
100% certain that everybody knows when they get a nudge of sorts.
Mhm.
You've the patterns that we've had placed in us are what stop us. They're
Yeah.
what make us ignore those nudges because
Mhm.
that's to keep us down. And we're not
Exactly.
here to be kept down because everybody
No.
is a divine being of light. We're all sovereign beings of light. We need to step into that more and more. And that's what
Exactly.
you find changes when you start on the path that you become more of that sovereign being. You start to learn to love yourself so you can step out of the box so that you can start to create these new way of beings. So that
Mhm.
was lovely. We didn't know where this conversation would go, did we, Tatiana? So, and we didn't want it to be not a controlled conversation. We want it to be just
Yeah.
a nice chat and
Yeah.
talk as things come up, and I've really
Exactly.
enjoyed that. that chat today, and
Yeah.
again, all the lovely energy that's come through. So of course, if any of you do feel like you want to know more about the upcoming workshop, the Divine Blueprint, just message us or go on either of my Facebook, Tatiana's on Instagram. I think you're going on.
TikTok soon.
Yeah, yeah. She's
Planning,
been
yeah.
nudged. She's got to go on TikTok.
I know. So the Isis energies with me, the Egyptian energies with me, and
Yes.
we're doing the TikTok, and the link obviously will be in the captions for the workshop, or like Lisa said, contact us directly, or just click the link, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
you're with us, and it's time to break up. That when you said this energy, we have to break out of it. I just saw this 1930s girl who had big dreams, and the dad said, "No, you're not allowed to do this. You're staying at home, get a husband." We're not in this energy any longer, and we need to break out. And it's just this mindset shift of, I can do shit.
Yeah.
I can do the
Definitely.
shit. I
Yeah.
don't have to be in the house. I don't have to listen to a man or to anyone else. You do you,
Do
and
what,
dream
yeah.
big.
Do what makes you, what sets you on fire, what makes you feel alive,
Exactly. And I
makes
love
you
that.
laugh.
And yeah, let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Yeah, and then we see you next week or at the workshop.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you so much.
Sending love to everybody. Bye.
Bye.